ओम सदाशिवसमारंभां व्यासशंकरमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। चैतन्यं सर्वगं सर्वं सर्वभूतगुहाशयं यत्सर्वविषयातीतं तस्मै सर्वविधे नमः. So namaste and I welcome you all to this class Upadesha Sahasri. And in the previous class we finished Buddhi Aruda Prakaranam, and today we will just look at the next chapter 8. It's called Mati Vilapana Prakaranam. So I'll give you a summary first of what this topic is about. Then we will go into each of the verses. So this particular text or this particular section is written by Adi Shankara, keeping in view the understanding that the common human person or the common person may not be able to understand the Vedantic text sometimes clearly, and it is customary for any text to be written in a traditional manner. So there is Bhashyam, there is explanation, there is Vartikam is there, then the Tikakara gives more explanations about that Bhashyam itself. So it is a traditional way of doing things. But here, this particular chapter, Adi Shankara has actually taken up his own initiative to initiate a dialogue between the Atma and the mind. So it is a samvadaha. So there's something called vadaha, means just normal discussion, or it could be just a casual discussion. So it has got no meaning, no purpose. It's called, we just keep chatting. It's called vada. And Tarkavada also means, Tarkavada means what? The discussion that is done just to point out the mistakes, or to find fault, or to somehow destabilize the original thought given by the commentator. So Tarkavada. But we have Samvada here. So Samvada means a discussion happening between the Guru and Shishya. And all this, the Guru Shishya Samvadaha is always supposed to be very different, because there the Shishya asks a question with reverence to the Guru. There is no ahankara and there is no ill feeling towards the Guru, because the person asks a question with a view to get understanding, to get better, or to know the subject better. Like in the Bhagavad Gita also, the discussion between Krishna and Arjuna is called Krishnabja Samvadhe. So you see the word Krishnabja Samvadaha. It doesn't say Vada. Samvadaha means what it's a complete discussion. It is a open discussion where the student asks the Guru with reverence, with the particular topic in mind, and he doesn't ask about something not relevant. So there also Arjuna doesn't ask about something about Jyotisham or something about astrology or something like this. He only talks about relevant things what Bhagavan Krishna is teaching them. So here also this particular discussion happening or proposed here in this topic is between the Guru and Shishya. So the Guru is supposed to be what? The Atma. The Shishya is supposed to be the mind. So the mind is always supposed to be listening to the Atma. Why? You always know, at least by this time we should have known, that the mind doesn't have an independent entity of its own. The mind doesn't have absolute existence. It only has relative existence. So thereby, this particular topic is called Mati Vilapana Prakarana. So Mati means a mind, and Vilapanam means the resolution or resolution of the mind. So there are two aspects being talked about here. One is the rejection by the Atma for the services offered by the mind. So one is rejection of the services offered by the mind to the Atma. So the mind says that I am an integral part of you, and I'm offering these services just for better understanding or making you comfortable. So let us go to the park, and when you go to the park means you enjoy fresh air and you feel good, and when you feel good, I also feel good. So this is the voluntary services offered by the mind, and the mind offers continuous services. It doesn't rest at all. And the Atma is also, because it is connected to the mind due to natural association, correct? We know that. So Tadatmya Sahajam. So it is connected in some way or the other. So there's always something happening between those two. One person is not responding, other person is responding. 1 second, huh? Somebody is calling. So one person is responding, another person doesn't respond. So there are two reasons being proposed here for this. Number one is the Atma is rejecting the services of the mind, because the Atma thinks that this is a sarupam of its own nature. So when you have its own sarupam, then you do not need anyone offering the service. Example we can say is the wave and the water. The wave is saying that I'm offering the services to you by making it known to people, by enjoying, playing around and projecting, the kids are enjoying the waves. So I'm doing a service to the community. Right? And this is the argument of the waves to the Atma. And Atma says that I don't need this. He says, if you want to have the benefit of society, you can have it, but I do not have any connection with all these things, because I do not belong to this particular thinking process you're talking about. So you get what I'm saying? So there are two things being proposed here. One thing is the services, the mind is giving services to the Atma, saying that I'm an integral part of you and I'm offering these services to you, and why are you rejecting it? Atma says that I do not need the services because you belong to Jada Prapancha, or you belong to the Anatma world, and the mind is always supposed to be only you deal with only Anatma, and your place is always in Anatma, whereas I do not deal anything with Anatma at all. Okay. So because I'm already complete, I'm already a complete person, I'm Aham Purnaha. So I do not need any help from you to make me more complete. Some people say, no, I am talking to myself. So if you heard people say that, what are you doing? I am talking to my own self. So what does it mean? When you say you're talking to your own self, the mind is talking to whom? The mind is talking to its own self. That means mind is talking its own analysis of what it's trying to do. So there are always two people there. The person who is actually the talker, or the person who is, and also the object to which is being talked about. So the mind is the person which is a person talking, and the mind is not talking to the Atma, correct? Mind is talking only to Jada Prapancha. It is talking to an object. Even if you are saying I am talking to Krishna, which is I am talking daily to Krishna. See, sometime I think I remember having a discussion a very long time ago. She's one of our classmates. I think I met her. Suresh might know her quickly. So Jayashree Sharma, I think you know her. So it was, I think, maybe 10 years ago or maybe 8 years ago. I do not remember. We have just met casually one day, and we were talking about this. He also came for satsang, and we asked. Then he says, "See, I'm actually talking every day to Krishna. Krishna comes to me and talks to me. I talk to him, and he talks to me, and I'm happy to continue like this." So I said, "Okay, that's very good, because if somebody is talking to somebody, there has to be someone who should be able to resolve the problems." At that time, I did think about this topic there. So usually when people talk to somebody or somebody is talking to one's own self, there is a discussion, sambadaha. Right? But it is still in the anatma prapancha only. The mind cannot deal with anything talking to the Atma, because Atma is something which cannot respond. So if you say I am talking to the Atma, then the Atma cannot come back and tell you. Whereas when you say that I am talking to somebody, even if it is your Ishwar Devata, it is a form or something, it is an object which is created by you for responding to you. It is a form or it is a particular structure created by your own thought process. And you visualize the thought process, and you're talking to the thought process, and the thought is coming back to you in another thought form. Hope you are trying to find it right. So it is difficult because we're now talking internal, the technicality of the mind. So when you say that I'm talking to somebody or an object of knowledge, sometimes say, "Nane engude pesindrukken appadina, thanakku thane pesudal appadina." So in fact, Thiruvachakam is a beautiful, beautiful thing. No kri, no ke, no kri, no narve. So there the person, what he just projects an image of the object inside the person itself. The mind, so within the mind, there's a section there where he projects an image of the person, of the object, whichever he wants to do. So your Krishna Bhakta or your Rama Bhakta, Hanuman Bhakta, whichever is there, you project that. And then you talk to that person who is present in another corner of the mind. Then you put a question to that person, and the person whom is there, the person also is, the mind also responds, same section. You do not know whether it is same. The same mind is responding in different aspects. See, we can have multiple thoughts, correct? We can have many thoughts, same time simultaneously thinking about it, correct? You will be here, Anga Yoshikla, then we will look at that object. We compare those two things. Three things also can compare. Many things can be thought about it. All things can be lingering around the thought, correct? It can be hanging around. So that is why it is the most difficult concept here. That's why it says here that first is rejectional services. That is, I reject your services, that you are trying to know something about me because you do not know me at all. Because you are operating in the world of Anatma, and I am operating in the world of the Atma. Right? So because I am Asangaha, I am not connected with anything at all. I cannot be touched by anybody. Thereby, I do not need your help or any help from anybody. This is the dialogue between the Atma. See, the Atma does not talk, but Adi Shankara says that this is what people have an idea. It's a very common philosophy that when you're just lost in some thought, people ask, "What are you doing?" "No, I am talking to myself." "Leave me alone." I'm talking to myself. So the talking to myself means what? The same thing. This is what is the dialogue happening between the internal, the mind itself. But in reality, there's no talking to the Atma. There's only talking, the mind talking to the mind itself, one section of the mind. So this first section is that the being Atma, being Swarupaha or Nityaha, Asangaha, Sarvagam. It is not, I do not need anything more from you because I'm not touched by anything. I do not get more happiness by you providing the services. So you just leave me alone. This is the argument. So he says, you can do whatever you want. I do not have anything to do with what you are doing there because I do not get any more enjoyment by you doing what you want to do, because if I'm already happy. So what are you trying to do things for me? Like the wave talking to the water saying that, look, I am actually making you more prominent. He said, I do not want to be more prominent because I know that I am prominent, I am water. I know about it. You do not know that you are the water. So you keep doing what you want to do and you are in the another prapancha. So this is a discussion. So when the wave realizes the truth, that is the time when it will drop the ahankara and the wave and it will become one with the water. Till such time, the mind will always be like a rippling wave, correct? So just as the waves keep dancing around all the time, the mind also will keep dancing around. So Mati Vilabana Prakarana means the particular chapter is actually for the sadhaka as upasanam or the meditation on what you should do to relax the mind. So relaxation of the mind is a foremost thing for anything to happen. The mind is very, 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 chanchalam and very agitative, very, always moving around. Then it is not possible for you to see clearly. The second reason that talks about here is the mind happens to be a mithya. So mithya means that which cannot add anything to the sakshi. Example, you win a lottery in the dream. You win, say, $10 million. You've been thinking about buying lottery for so many years. You have all these schemes in your office. You buy joint lottery, single lottery, and you contributed. Finally, you have won in lottery and it happened to be in the dream. So you wake up and the next morning you go to the bank and see that you won the lottery or not. So the dream lottery you won in your dream is not adding to the bank balance because that dream which you won was in the dream only. So the bank doesn't get affected, your balance doesn't get affected by the dream. Same way, whatever actions you do, whatever services you do, it is an anatma prapancha only. It is not going to add anything to me. So you leave me alone. Okay, this is the view of the discussion here. So how do you resolve this is, first of all, you have to understand the aspect of the mind. And in Advaitam or in Vedantic philosophy, we never say that the mind has to be dissolved. See, there's a concept called resolved and dissolved. So dissolution means that something which you remove totally. It's like, having a salt and then you put it in the water, it gets dissolved. Salt loses existence, correct? Salt becomes one with the water and the salt is only called water and it adds saltiness to the water. So you cannot take out the salt again after that. Unless you go through a chemical process and you won't even get what you want. So Shastram says that this particular thing cannot exist. You really cannot remove the mind. You cannot drop the mind. You cannot let the thoughts vanish. You cannot even stop the thoughts coming because this is impossible. So he says you deal with it. So that's why it's called Mati Vilapana. So Vilapana means resolution of the mind. That means how the mind gets resolved by understanding its limitations, understanding its nature of what it is, and thereby it finally finds his place, right? So see, in the traditional way of teaching, there are Uttamadhikari and Madhyamadhikari. See, we are not talking about Adhamadhikari. See, three people are there. Adhamadhikari means a person who is not qualified. Adhikaritva means an eligibility for a person to pursue Shastram or study knowledge. So there has to be some qualification. So we are not talking about Adhamadhikari. We are talking about Uttamadhikari and Madhyamadhikari. So for the Uttamadhikari, there is nothing, it is very easy because he understands Mahavakyams very clearly. He understands, if you tell him Tattvamasi, he will be able to make out. It doesn't need a lot of explanation, a lot of analysis because he's already been qualified. He has already gone to the level of understanding where further explanation is not required that detail. He just have to brush up really or read something here and there. That's it. So, whereas for the Madhyamadhikari, it is difficult because there are others who are creating disturbances. So who are the others? The others are the 6 different afflictions within the person has got. Shad Ripuhu. So Kama, Krodha, Moham, Lobha, Mada, Matsargyam. So we know this. So these are all disturbances which are there in a person who is a Madhyamadhikari, means who is starting to learn, who is starting to grapple the topic. And these disturbances make him, the knowledge which is gained so far does not stay long. So often and on he forgets, he or she. So I say he means don't take he. He means both. So often the person forgets the concept that I am Brahman. Sometimes we'll say, see, you always talk about Brahman, Atma, Atma, Atma. What is his Atma? After 4 or 5 classes, after 4 months or so, you don't miss the class. You don't understand suddenly. I don't understand what Atma is, what is Jiva is, what is Jiva Paramatma Aikyam is. Because there are other disturbances which are there. What are disturbances? Number one is one's own involvement in all the other activities. Second thing is consistently not performing or not, doing Shravanam. Consistently not doing Mananam. So these are the disturbances which the Madhyamadhikari has got. That means he or she is not in that same category of where you can come to that level. So for this person, the mind has to first settle down. So one has to work on the mind first. See, in the Bhagavatam, there is a story also. So today I'm just giving you an overview of all the things so that you understand what I'm talking about. It makes you a bit interesting and also it's easy to follow the text later on. So in the Bhagavatam, there is a story of an arrow maker. So he is busy doing, his own arrows. And there's a king, a procession of the king is passing along the road. So when the person is so focused on making his arrow, because the arrow is supposed to be sharp and it has to have certain, length, sharpness, metal is using, and he's been given an order by a specific person to make in the particular form for a particular target. So he cannot afford to be disturbed by anything happening around. So even though the king's procession is going along, the king is going through the streets, the band and elephants are going through. After some time, one person comes and says, hey, did you watch the king go through our streets? It was so majestic. So many elephants were there. There was a band with them. So what, the king passed through? Oh, I didn't know that. So what it means is the person was so engrossed that he didn't even notice the king passing through or anyone noticing through. He is busy in his own activity. Karma me kanna inar. Sometimes I will know. Karma me kanna inar means what? I am only doing what I am supposed to do. I do not worry about others, what's happening in the other part of the world. So this also is an example of how a mind can be quietened. and how a mind can be receptive when there are no disturbances. So another example I can give you also is in most houses or some houses, like when there's a wall clock you see in your house. The wall clock has got a pendulum, right? And it always, whenever there's a tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, you'll see a sound hearing, right? So when you're daytime when you're there, when you're busy cooking or some sasamas going on, some TV is going on, people are talking here and there, you are running here and there. That clock is still chiming tick tock, correct? But you do not hear the tick tock every time. You forget that knowledge because you don't even look at it whether the clock is moving or not, the pendulum is moving or not. But come 10:30, 11 o'clock, when everybody is gone to sleep, kitchen is quiet, TV is quiet, and you are sleeping there, then you hear this noise, tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. You heard that. Why? Because the same clock was there right in front of you and you could not hear because there are so many disturbances were there. But the same clock which was there at night time, you could hear it. Why? Because the disturbances which are there are not there anymore. Same way, Atma says here that because you are already working very busy and you are running here and there, you are not able to see me, you are not able to even hear what I am talking about. And because of you, I am getting a bad name. This is what he says. Because of you, I am getting a bad name. Everybody says that, I am the doer. Atma that, is a doer. But in fact, I got nothing to do with what you're doing. I'm neither interested in all these things. Okay. So the Aham Brahma Asmi is not evident for the sadhaka when they are doing other activities. Correct? So such activities should be reduced or such activities should be curtailed where possible so that this concept is available for recognition. So this is the main essence of the topic, and the Acharya gives 6 different verses to go through that. We will read the first one and see what it says here. This is in a different meter, so I'll try to do. Chitiswarupe swata eva me mate. Chitiswarupe swata eva me mate. Rasadi yogastava mohakaritaha. Rasadi yogastava mohakaritaha. Chitiswarupe swata eva me mate. Rasadi yogastava mohakaritaha. Ato na kinchit tava cheshtitena me. Ato na kinchit tava cheshtitena me. Phalam bhave sarva visheshahanataha. Phalam bhave sarvam visheshahanataha. So, he mate. See. So the word he mate, you see that me mate means he buddhi. So it is addressing the Atma is addressing what? Chitiswarupaha. So Chitiswarupa means Swata Chiti Swarupa. Means Swata means what? I am myself. Okay. So the first section talks about the Atma. So Chitiswarupam means I am true consciousness, my nature is consciousness. And by myself I am pure. And you are He Mate, He Buddhi, He Intellect. Who are you? Rasa Adi Yoga. So Rasa Adi Yoga means what? Because of your inclination, because of your involvement in Rasa, what Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Gandha, Adi, you can say. So they call rasa. So enjoyment, you can say. Even also I can add raga dvesha also. So raga dvesha also is called rasa because it's also one form of enjoyment. Likes and dislikes, anger, compassion, all of them are, they are all forms of a particular type. In fact, in the there's a topic called Jiva Yatra, which I'm teaching in other class, in the long version of the class. That also we talk about the happiness, right? Where happiness is of Nitya. And there also the happiness which is sought by a person is always connected to an object of knowledge. So you want happiness or you derive happiness always from an object. And you will always be connected to the object as long as the object gives you happiness. Correct? It can be a son, it can be a wife, it can be a dog, it can be a car, it can be a fridge, it can be anything which is there, which will give you happiness as long as the object is giving you happiness. Correct? If the object ceases to give you happiness, would you keep the object for the sake of object? Or would you just tolerate the object? You cannot, because even though you are connected to the object, you will no longer be enjoying the object. Thereby you will try to be away from the object or try to avoid the object or try to be disassociate the object. Is that correct? Because you do not want to be connected to something which don't give happiness. The same car which is giving me happiness before, now it's giving me a problem. So no, I would like to still keep that car because somebody asks you why. Because I just want to keep it. When they say, are you getting happy out of it? No, I'm not getting happiness. I'm actually suffering. So why do you want to keep it? So you don't have an answer because ultimately everybody wants happiness and everybody is seeking for happiness. In fact, somebody asks a question, there's also Kudarkavadi there. Somebody comes and says, no. You say that you want happiness, I accept it. But I do not want happiness. I want to be sad always. I want to be sad always because that is his view. So when he says sadness means what? Opposite of happiness. And given in sadness, what? He's seeking happiness only. See, even in sadness also, he's seeking happiness because he wants to be happy in sad, while being sad. So happiness cannot be replaced by anything because happiness is the swarupam of your own true nature. So whether you become sad, whether you become happy, whether you become joyful, ecstatic, he says, I got nothing to do with this because happiness is your nature. So here also this here, Swata Chitti Swarupa Eva Me. So I am by myself personified as Sthiti Swarupam. I am consciousness, I am happiness, personified. And He Mate, He Buddhi. So it says, you intellect. And how are you? You are connected as what? Tavarasa Adi Yoga. So you are connected in this manner. You are connected with the Anatma Prapancha, with all these things, which are of the nature of Kama, Krodha, etc. And you are living in that world. And it says here, Moha Karita. And because of that, see, Moha Karita means what? Because of your connection with those things, you are doing activities. Right? Therefore, Tata. So, na kinchit tava cheshtitena me. So, therefore, whatever you go after, right? So, whatever you are going after, I do not need to follow you. Right? So, mena kinchit means what? I am not interested. So, I am never interested in what you do. You can do whatever you want to do. Somebody will say that I am doing Shravanam. So, there's a question asked in this later on in the class. What about Shravanam? What about Mananam? And what about Nama Sankirtanam? What about Puja? I do Trikala Sandhyavandanam, I do Agnihotram, I do pujas, I do rituals, exhaustive rituals, I do all of them. He says, you can do whatever you want. He said, all these things are not going to contribute to Jnanam because they are not given to give Jnanam. They are all good for you because they are operating in the world of Anatma. They are going to give you something or the other, but I do not need anything from you. If you want to come to me, you will have to leave all these things. What it says here, if you want to come, because I am free from all these things. Atma is free from any of these karma or activities. So if you want to do this, you do. Said, I am not stopping you from doing this. But don't tell that I am the person who is doing it. So don't go and tell the world that I am doing this because I am the Atma, I am doing this. Said, you are Anatma, you are doing this. So you are already operating in the field of Anatma. So you do these activities. I have got nothing to do with any of these activities you do. So see the dialogue happening between this. So it's actually talking to one's own self. See, sometimes people say, see, today I didn't go to temple at all. So I have not gone to temple for the last 3 months. I feel very bad about it. Today I have not chanted Vishnu Sahasranam at all today. Today I have not done Sandhyavanam at all. Very bad feeling. What will Bhagavan only will punish me? All these things. See, Punyam and Papam will come. Then, when I ask you, what is Punyam, what is Papam? He says, Punyam and Papam are the right and wrongs. He said, who is the person receiving it? He said, I am the person receiving it. He says, who are you? He said, I am so and so person. So you have answered what you are dealing already in the field of only Anatma only. You can continue to think only through Anatma only, because if your answer is saying that I am the Atma, I am the consciousness, then you will ask whose Punyam, what Papam, like whose activity, what results you're talking about. All these things will be in what? Because the answer will not, you will not get an answer, because the answer itself is answered directly by the person there. But as long as you continue to be delving in the area of the matter, Anatma, you will continue to be getting answers from the same field of sphere only. You will not get answers from the other side. Right? That is why when somebody says, I'm talking to somebody, Nanu Krishna dialogue patient or Nanu Ramara patient private, the Ramar is in your corner of your thought only. That Ramar is actually an image of your thought only. Correct? So I'm not criticizing that Rama is not there. See, it is there. But Rama is what? Is actually Atma. Rama is consciousness. Rama is a form given, name given by a person. Krishna is a form, is a name given by a person. Krishna is what? Consciousness. Rama is consciousness. So all these are to be understood. And even if you talk to somebody, it is only talking in the world of Anatma. That's why it says here, Tava cheshti tena me na kinchit. Name kinchit phalam bhavet. So, I do not get even phalam also. So, you do the activities, you enjoy the phalam. And neither I am not interested in your activities, neither I am interested in your phalam also. So, name kinchit phalam bhavet. I am also not interested in any of your phalam also. Phalam means no results. So, what the Buddha is saying, see, I am doing all these things for you, for the benefit of you, so that you are in a quiet place and you are well looked after, and you go to the beach, you get nice beach, and you are very quiet, everything quiet. You go to the gym, you be fit, everything. So, what you say? I am going to the gym to keep myself fit and to keep myself energetic, right? All these things are there. And Atma keeps saying this, I don't need this. I don't need fitness. I don't need any of these things, because I am already full with all these things. But the Buddha keeps saying what? No, I am still doing this. See, I am service time. I don't want your services. Because your services, when you give, I'll have to take some part of that punya and papam also. Then I'll also be affected by this. But I am not affected by this because I am swataha chiti sarupa. I am nature of consciousness. First, chiti sarupe swata eva he mate. You are rasa adi yogas tava moha karitaha. So because you are connected with all the rasa, etc., that Navarasa Nayagan, we say, Navarasa Nayagan, thereby you get moha karita. So you do activities out of your own desire. And when you do activities, you get phalam. But I am not connected with any of these things because I operate in different world. If you want to come to me, you have to come as leaving all these things and come to me. So either you operate in your world and you be happy and you leave me alone. Do not come and disturb me. Do not come and tell me that your service offering services to me because I don't need any of the services. It's very point blank. Acharya says here that I do not need your services because you operate in Anatma Prapancha. I operate in Atma Prapancha. There are two different things. So, atona kinchit tava cheshtitena me. So, kinchit tava cheshtitena means what? I do not interested anything at all in what you do. I have nothing to do with any of this what you do. Phalam bhave sarva. So, name phalam bhave sarva. Means I do not even be interested in your phalam also. Right? And sarva vishesha apahanataha. So one has to understand that you have to all vishesha. If you want to come to me, if you want to talk to me, then you have to remove all the vishesha. So you have to do vishesha apohana prakaranam. Remember the vishesha apoha prakaranam. Remember we talked about before? That you remember this. So you have to remove because I am nirvishesha. I do not have any qualities, and you are savishesha. So with all the attributes, how can savishesha become nirvishesha? Only by dropping the word vishesha. Correct. So by dropping the word vishesha, by dropping the attributes along with everything, I become free. I become nirvishesha. Thereby, I am free. So you do not come and disturb me. You do not earn a bad name for me. You operate in your own world and leave me alone. You have disturbed me enough. That's what dialogue. Atma says, you already disturbed me enough. You are keeping on blaming me for everything. In reality, I am not to be blamed at all. You are the person to be blamed. So you suffer because of your own thinking. You suffer because you operate in the field of anatma. And you suffer because the activity which you do are bringing you punyam and papam, and you are suffering there. I am free from suffering. I do not have anything. So it's only understanding is very important. Right? That's what this is a different way of telling. Same message is told, but here it is made clear for the Madhyama Adhikari. So this particular text or this particular explanation is for the Madhyama Adhikari, where the person understands question and answer better than direct saying, oh, Tattvamasi. So Mahavakyam for the Uttama Adhikari, you will understand very clearly. The person is actually in study. See, the person is climbing slowly.
Sir, I think your internet is disconnecting.
Yeah. I think something came up message just now. And I'll be
You've lost Shankar.
Yeah, I think he's reconnecting.
He says he's reconnecting.
Zoom crashed.
Ah. Okay. Okay. Probably has a mind in like.
You can hear me now? Okay, I think because we're talking about the Mati Vilapana Prakaranam, I think the Zoom has got its own internal mind. And it was questioning, like, this person is talking on and on about the mind. So let me teach him a lesson. So he just disappeared. All of a sudden. So Zoom also has got its own mind, operates in its own way. But anyway, we are not worried about it. Let it happen. So the key message given in this verse is the Atma is a Sangha. Atma is not worried about anything else. And Atma is clearly saying that I am different and distinct from all these things that you do. Even though I am actually part of you, I do not get touched. I do not get any of these things which you think you are doing, because you are entirely operating in a different environment, in a different arena. So all of our activities which you do, even our daily activities, it is in Anatma Prapancha only. It is not in Atma Prapancha. Whether we take bath, whether we go out, talk, eat, anything which you do, or any activity which you do, they are already in Anatma Prapancha only. Right? So for Atma Prapancha, you do not need anything. You do not need act because you are a Karta. So it's only cognitive. It does not mean that you can't say, oh, I am Brahmasmi, so I will not do anything from tomorrow. No. What it tells is here that let the activities be done. But you do not claim ownership that the Atma is doing the activities. See, the Atma is not doing the activities. Atma, due to the association with the mind, where the mind gets the radiance or the intelligence required to do, it is doing the activities. And that is its dharma. The nature of the mind is to wander. And it actually uses the other ingredients like the hand, etc., for performing the activities, which is also part of Prakriti. So they are in the Maya Prapancha. Right? All of them Maya Prapancha. I am actually not in the Maya Prapancha. So you are two distinct things. So do not bring these two things together and do not make my name suffer. This is what is saying here. Right? So I have made some notes the other day. So the Atma is actually telling the intellect. So why are you so restless? I mean, why are you so agitated? Why are you always doing things? And the answer given by the mind is that I am trying to make you happy. I am trying to make you comfortable. And the Atma said in the very opening sentence itself, that Chitissurupe Swata Eva. So I am myself in the nature of happiness. I myself is the nature of fullness and Ananda Rupa. So there is no need for you to make any great effort to make me more happy. Then he says that why you are restless. The reason given by why you are restless because you are operating as Rasa Yodis Yogis Tava Moha Karitaha. So because you are involved in all these activities which are driven by desire, greed, lust, etc., and you continue to operate in the environment, you get results. So atona kinchit tava cheshtitena me phalam bhavet sarva vishesha hanataha. So thereby I do not have anything to do with what you are doing. Neither I am interested in your phalam, neither I am interested in results. So you leave me alone. This is what is the message given here. Is it clear? The first verse, is it clear to you? I like the dialogue, the way the person talks. it's a bit different compared to traditional way of. Adi Shankara sometimes finds innovative ways to do this. The next. Vimuchya maya maya karyatamiha. Vimuchya maya maya karyatamiha. Prashanti mahya sadihitat sadha. Prashanti maya hya sadihitat sadha. Aham param brahma sadha vimuktavat. Aham param brahma sada vimuktavat. Tada jamekam dvayavarjitam yataha. Tata jamekam dvayavarjitam yataha. So, maya maya karyatam. Maya maya karyatam means, it continues that all these activities are due to the Maya Prapancha. So all these have got, so Karya means the activities. And Maya Mayam. So Varve Mayam, Varve Mayam. So Varve Mayam means what? Varve Mayama Abdul Patri. So the whole world, means the whole life is like a Maya. So it's like a projection. It is not the truth. It is an imaginary thing. So Maya Maya Karyatam. So the whole Karya Prapancha is operating in the field of Maya. And it's a Karanam. And Iha means here, Vimuchya, having given up. So Vimuchya means having given up. So when you give up here in this, all these activities which are driven by Maya. So you have to add those things which is in the first verse. What is the first verse? Tava rasa adi yogat moha karita, which is the reason is why, because it is actually in the Maya karyata. So the Maya is the one responsible for creating this illusion called rasa adi yogaha, raga dveshaha. So all these things is Maya. So this is what is actually makes you think that you are like this. So it is an imaginary position. Just like in the magician, the magic show, the magician makes you suffer, right? And you squeal, you cry, you have tears, you jump up the seat, you twist around and make uncomfortable when the magician starts to do things, because you're already under the spell of Maya. And any activity you do there doesn't affect the magician at all. Is that right? The magician doesn't get affected by your squeal or not. He's not going to make you squeal more, because he knows how much you should make you squeal. It is a set order. That is how he does it. And whether you feel uncomfortable sitting in the chair there, or you're perspiring there, or you're crying there, he's not going to make the magician do anything great, because he's still untouched by all these things. He's not affected by you, but you are affected by him, by his spell. Correct? By him means the spell. So there, in between you and the magician, there is a spell of it's a web, right? And the magic is the one which is making you effect. So when you remove that particular thing, the magic spell, then what do? Then you don't have any more sufferings. So vimuchya. So vimuchya means having given up or having removed. Right? We have prashantim ayahi. So prashantim ayahi. So prashanti means what here? Prashanta means relaxation. So prashanti means relaxation. So when you give up those things, you relax. Just as in the magician example, see, always this is example, good example, because when you are in the spell of the magician, you are nail biting. You are on the edge of seat. Sometimes you really come close to seat, and you sometimes fall also. Or you cover your nose, or you lean on somebody's shoulder, you're crying, all these things happens. Right? Because in horror show also somebody like, I don't like horror show. I don't like horror movies. So when a door squeaks like this, you want to close your eyes. You don't want to see it. Or you want to close your ears. But there are some who enjoy it. Horror movies are like a treat. My wife, she likes horror movies. 12 o'clock, she can watch horror movies. I cannot watch horror movie even at 1 o'clock also. Daytime also I cannot watch. Because number one, I don't watch it. But what I'm trying to say is the horror movies also makes you, till the time you're connected to the horror scene, you are connected with that. But once you close your eyes and when you walk away from the room, that doesn't get affected. You don't get affected. So what do? You're given up, correct? You're left a thing, and that way you're, what do you, Prashant? So you become happy. And the check. So again you go and watch, again something will come, you again go back. So this is repeated practice. So vimuchyaha means having given up or having removed that particular thing. What do you do? Prashanti mayahi. So you achieve relaxation. That means the mind gets relaxed. So when you slowly remove all the activities, then what do? You get relaxed. Because the mind, what does it tell you? Supposing you sit there quietly for some time. See, in today's chanting class also, all the young people come, Bala Gurukulam. Now the class has gone from 15 minutes to 1 hour now. So the boys, the girls are able to sit for 1 hour now. So I finished my class at 11. Instead of 10:15, it has become 11 now. So they are also like, I can see within the first half an hour, they are very, very focused. They will all be like this. Then after the 35th, the 6th, there are only 7-year-old boys and girls. So they can chant Aditya by heart. All 31 they can chant by heart. So they listen. But then after the 30th, 31st minute, they start being restless. Then they start doing something with their finger or something with their shirt or something, drawing column there. Or their legs are hurting, they stretch right in front of them. Because they are restless. And when you're restless, you cannot relax, because next time what I'm teaching them, it will take me double the time to teach them, because they cannot hear what I'm trying to tell. So what is this here? That when you give up these things, when you get distracted, when you leave all these things, you will be free from, then you will get Prashanti Mayahi, mean may you attain relaxation. So Prashanti Mayahi, may you attain relaxation. So you do all these things, you don't get connected with this, you will get less relaxation. Then Aham Brahma Sada Vimukta. So the word, see, Prashantim Ayahi Sadi Hitat Sada, right? So Asat Hi Hitat Sada, Asat, that word Asat actually. So Asat Hi Hitat Sada means here all these objects here are Asat of nature, or they are all of impermanent nature, and they are temptations. So they are Mithya Vastu, you can call. So they are called Mithya Vastu. And so Sada means what? Always. So because you are connected with Asat, Sada, you are not happy. But when you are free, vimuchyaha, from all these things, you will become prashanti, you will become happy. An example I can give you is, when you go to the movie, or when you have a theater in your home screen also. Nowadays you don't go to you have home theater. Everybody has got a theater at home. And the screen just comes, stop, right? So in the olden days, we used to go to the movie theater to go. And you sit in the hall, you buy a ticket, and then the screen first comes. So there is a screen just covering the whole screen, right? And then they remove and then the screen is visible, right? Then you go and then the movie starts, the projector screen starts, the reel starts to flow, the images come and go on the screen. Right? Now, whatever images are coming on the screen doesn't get affected by anything. Right? The screen is still the same thing. So we pay money for what? You pay money for the screen or for the projection? Projection. So you go, you buy the ticket, somebody tells you that there's a blank screen available there. You go and sit in the auditorium, I'll give you a blank screen. Would you buy a ticket? You won't go buy a ticket. But when you say that there is a interesting movie, there is Dharmendra movie there, or somebody is there, and old movie, and you want to go and watch. So you go there, movie for what? For the projection itself. Right? Say this is what is happening. Say you are actually getting busy because you are operating happiness in Asat world. So once you understand that that is actually after the movie is over, money is gone, projection is gone, screen is still there. You have to, the screen comes out, you have to go out. Again, you want to watch the screen, you again have to pay money. Right? So this operates. That's why it says here, you are operating in Asad hi hitat sadha. Asad hi hitat sadha. But whereas what I am, aham param brahma sada vimukta. But I am this param brahma. Right? So I am always param brahma. Sadha, always I am free from all states of experience. I am actually not affected by anything. In waking state, in dream state, and deep sleep state. So sada vimukta, muktavat. Right? Then ajam ekam. So therefore, what I am ajam, unborn. Ekam means I am the only one. There's no second thing other than me. Right? Advayam, varjitam. I am free from everything. Right? Varjita means what? I'm free from any of these things. So I'm free from the screen. I'm free from the projections. I'm not affected by any of them. So the second sentence, the second line talks about the Atma talking about this. Atma says that why I am free, why I am happy, because I am Param Brahma. I am Sada Vimuktavat. I am always free. I do not get bound by anything. And Ajam, I am actually not born. Like the thoughts are born, I do not get born because the thoughts are coming and going, correct? I do not go anywhere. I am always there. You think you are going everywhere and coming back everywhere. I am not going at all anywhere because I am always there, always in one place. So I do not have any movement. Or when you have movement only, you feel very tired. Right? You keep on doing activities, right? You feel very tired. When you say that you are sitting in one place, you will get tired. You will not get tired. You will feel bored. It's a different thing. But you won't get tired. You can't say, I am tired by sitting. In today's environment in COVID, people are tired by sitting. Like another day, I heard somebody saying, I've been sitting the whole day. I want to go out walking. Because sitting also you can be tired in another manner, getting bored. But here it talks about even, I'm not even talking about tiredness because tiredness is not nature also. So, ajam ekam, dvayam varjita means I do not have a duality. So, dvayam varjita. So, advayam. So, dvayam varjita means I'm advayam. Right? And yataha. So, therefore, I am this free person. So, let's read the first two lines, then we'll complete the class, then we'll go. Chitit swarupe swata eva me mate prasadi yogastava mohakaritaha ato na kinchit tava cheshtite name phalam bhave sarva visheshahanataha vimuchya maya maya karyatamiha prashanti maya hyasadihitat sadha aham param brahma sadha vimuktavat tada jamekam dvayavarjitam yataha. Is it clear today? Okay. Any questions?
Yes.
Pushpaji, you enjoyed?
Nice. And the concept is taking time to sink in.
This is true. But see,
Yes.
the more you are consistent, the more, see, the same topic is said in different things. If you go to
Yes.
Mundaka Upanishad, same thing is said.
Mm.
The same thing is said. Why people ask, why the same thing is said again and again? And I never questioned for 12 years. And now I don't question at all, because in 12 years I never questioned. So after the 12th year, there's no question at all. So I don't ask anything. So I don't have any doubts to ask also from the teacher also, because all the doubts which I had was already clarified by so many years of study and listening, etc. So now I listen mainly for recollection only. So when you listen to the class, attend to the class, it is mainly not for learning anything new. It is to just refresh something. So you don't take notes, you don't do anything, because you already had the revision knowledge there. So what I'm trying to tell you is, it takes time, but it will definitely work. So repetition is what is Vedanta is important. And this particular text, the way it is presented here, is questioning the Atma, is actually sitting and questioning the mind. So there's an interaction. So people always talk to each other. I'm talking to myself. So என்ன பேசுவேன்னு கேட்டாலும் நாங்க ஏதாவது பேசிப்போம் அப்படிங்களா. They will not be able to ask like directly. I have spoken to people. They said, எனக்குள்ள பகவான் இருக்கார், நான் அவர்கிட்ட பேசிட்டு இருப்பேன் அப்படின்னா அவரே எனக்கு ரிப்ளை கொடுப்பார் அப்படின்னா. அவரே இப்போ இந்த மிராக்கிள் ஃபீல்ட்ல இருக்கவெல்லாம் அப்படிதான் பண்ணுவாங்க. They all in this field only. நேற்று எனக்கு வந்தார் அப்படின்னா எனக்கு use a word something. உத்தரவு கொடுத்தார் அப்படின்னா. They have a word. Consistently they use a word called uttaravu. Uttaravu means order. So you go to any of these people who are following this Mahabaliva Sangha, they always have our uttara kuduttar. See, uttara means what? The person is actually deep inside your mind in his thoughts, and the person's puja, phalam, everything is there in the person. So when you think of the person consistently, regularly for all the time, then that person will bless you in some form or the other. So the result, what you are seeing is uttara, is because that's what you want to achieve. It is not because that the person has given you order. It is what you want to achieve, thereby you are thinking about it, and therefore you got the reply, means what you want to do that thing. Correct. There is nobody sitting physically and telling everyone. Yes. Any intuition you see, any intuition when you say, it is known to you. And intuition is happening in what part of the mind? Is it Atma or the mind? It is the part of the mind, right? Intuition is what? It is mind. And mind is Anatma Prapancha. Simple. Vedantic philosophy is simple. Intuition, Anatma. Experience, Anatma. Right? Anything happening is all Anatma. Because they're all happening in Anatma Prapancha. Atma doesn't have anything like this. So somebody says that I'm having this vision, I'm having this experience, or I'm having this miracle, or I'm having this intuition, or all of them are happening within the mind. They are all only within the mind. And the mind is actually operating as Jadapur. It is actually a Jadam. So it doesn't have an independent existence of its own. So it cannot be the truth. Thereby, it is not the Satyam. It is Mithya only. That is how the Advaiti resolves this ignorance. He does not say that these things don't exist. They all exist. Correct. So how do we recognize that we are free? What is the question I said? How do we recognize that we are free? How can we be sure it is just not in the mind? See, Srikandra, this is recognition is, this question is answered in the Jiva Yatra, actually class la. This question is answered in Jiva Yatra, because there is not that you are free. See, basically, everybody is free. See, there is only one Atma. There's not multiple Atmas in everybody. So you cannot say that we have Pushpa Atma, we have Suresh Atma, we have Jay Atma. Atma is only one, but the Atma is operating or reflecting in everybody's, everybody's different minds, different intellect. And when every person, when a person who is seeing the other person understands that it's only the intellect which you're talking to. See, the intellect talks to the intellect. Atma doesn't talk to Atma, correct? The intellect is the one that is talking to the intellect. So as long as you understand that, the intellect is the same thing, then you resolve the intellect that, okay, he's also, from mind perspective, also mind perspective, but both of them are only mind, and that way you are free. So it takes some time to understand this. So you cannot be sure. The sure is like, it's only cognitive. Physically, you cannot do anything. See, physically, you cannot say that, I'm keeping the mind aside. in your daily vyavahara, you will have this thought coming there. The thought has to resolve, understanding everything. Just like the screen in the projection is only an image, right? In the TV, you're watching the TV every day, all the images come and go. The TV does not get affected by anything what is happening on the screen. Right? You switch off the TV, it is still white. You put on the TV and you connect Netflix, all images will come there. Right? But the TV screen doesn't get affected by anything what is projected on the screen. Right? The same way, you should be free as a screen. Clear as a screen, you should not be affected by anything. And it's only a cognitive effect only, not a physical effect. You cannot undo anything. You cannot say that I will drop the mind, I will disconnect it, put it separately. No. In the same mind only you have to think about it. Just like the wave and the water cannot be separated, you have to see the wave and then resolve the wave in the water. You cannot see the water separately, wave separately. Can you see it? You cannot. Right? Because when you see the wave, you're seeing water only. But that is an understanding. That way you are free. We'll see more of this. He talks about more elaboration examples of this. So we'll see this. Subbu, you're clear? Okay. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnamevavasishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. For those people coming to the 4:30 class, the Vishnu Sahasranama, I'll see you at 4:30. Okay. Hari Om.
Thank you, Shankar. No.
Thank you, sir.